Hello, this is Dr. Paul Cottrell, and I'm going to be going over the financial markets in this video. Please make sure you subscribe to all my channels. I have 4 channels on YouTube. I have Brighteon, Bitchute, and Rumble. Also, if you'd like to support my work, you can donate on my website, the-studio-reykjavik.com. You can donate through Stripe, PayPal, or buy me a coffee. You can also be a paid member to my Patreon channel. I do these videos for free, so you get informed for free. But if you would like to help support my work, please donate, make sure you subscribe, and also share the links and ask your social media to follow me. In addition, you can get some great products on my store. So we're doing this recording on 6/8/2025, and we're going to go over the financial markets. But before we do that, I'd like to go over some of the products that I have on my store. So you can get ebooks. I have 8 different ebooks talking about finance, also genomics and endocrinology, artificial intelligence. You can also get great supplements that I have on my store. Let's talk about some of those supplements. You can get the toothpaste that I have in stock, get a few tubes for your household. This toothpaste will whiten your teeth, freshen your breath, help with your gum line health. You can get the Max 14. Take a teaspoon a day, every day, swish it in your mouth, gargle, 20 seconds, swallow it, and that will help to boost up your immune system. The gels, I have 2 types of gels. You can get it in the dispenser, the quick dispenser, which is down here, or the tube form. It's multi-purpose. You can use it as a daily skincare. You can use it as an aftershave. You can put it on a cut to help heal it. You can also put it on your hands, around your mouth, around your nose, around your eyes, lightly coat your nostrils. If you're not feeling well or someone around you is not feeling well, it stays active for 5.5 hours. It's a great product. Make sure you have some at home and at work because you never know when you need it. I also have 4 types of soaps. You can get the charcoal tea tree, lemongrass, peppermint, or lavender soaps. They're all structural nanosilver. You can also get the drops and the lozenges. I have 3 flavors for the drops. The drops are smaller than the lozenges. You get 100 drops in each bag. You can get it in blueberry, honey and lemon, and cherry. And I also have elderberry zinc lozenges in stock. You get 21 in each bag. The lozenges are bigger than the drops. The lozenges that are in drops are made from structural nanosilver. I have a probiotic that's in a veggie cap form, very high quality, very important to take a probiotic every day to improve your gut biome. Cleanse is a 30 parts per million. It's comparable to the Max 35 and Max 14, just at a different price point because of the parts per million. You use it the same way, a teaspoon a day. Multivitamin is really important to take as a foundational part of your protocol. And this has vitamin A, vitamin C, D3, E, B1, B2, B3, B6, folate, B12, biotin. Also has manganese and selenium and zinc and iodine. So it's a great supplement to build off of for a health protocol. I also have C60. C60 is a very strong, very potent antioxidant. It's part of my health protocol. By soaking up free radicals, you improve the health of your mitochondria and reduce stress in the cell. You can get it in extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or MCT coconut oil. You can get it in a 2 ounce, a 4 ounce, or an 8 ounce configuration. Getting it at a higher ounce configuration is cheaper per ounce. I also have D3, very important to absorb calcium. It also helps with gene expression. It's great for cardiovascular health and bone density. Vitamin C and magnesium, very important for immune system and brain function. Omega-3 is very important for cardiovascular health. Ashwagandha root helps to control your cortisol levels and your blood glucose levels. Very important for immune system and for cardiovascular health. Good night formula helps to get you into 3 cycles of REM sleep and deep sleep. That's really important for you to consolidate memory and to detoxify your central nervous system. You'll be well rested. Take it every day. I have another probiotic that's in a powdered form, very important for your gut biome. Resveratrol is something I've been taking for decades. It helps with youthful gene expression, helps to get rid of senescent cells, and it is an antioxidant. It's going to soak up free radicals and help reduce the stress in the cell and help with the health of the mitochondria. Vitamin B complex is really important to take if you're 40 years of age or older to help to protect your neurons. It also helps with the mitochondrial health. The first four B vitamins helps with the electron transport chain, which is tied to the mitochondria. So your cellular metabolism will increase. Turmeric is an antioxidant that's going to soak up free radicals. It also brings down inflammation, very important for your immune system and your cardiovascular system. Magnesium and zinc, important for your immune system and for brain function. Magnesium is extremely important for brain function. Magnesium also helps with the efficacy of D3. Lignans is a powder. You take it every day. It helps to boost up your immune system, helps with your endocrine system. Collagen is a multi-purpose supplement. It's a powder. You take a scooper a day, mix it with soft foods or with filtered water or a smoothie or even with milk. Take it every day and it'll help with your skin, your hair, your nails, your joints, your musculature, and your bones. Digestive enzyme complex is very important to take to reduce the load on your pancreas. It helps you to digest carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. You can take it even if you are an athlete, take it before your workout. Take it before your workout or after your workout fuelings, and that will help you to break down that fuel source. This is a very important supplement to take if you're 40 years of age or older, just to reduce the load on your pancreas. Extremely important to take. It has bromelain in it, which is fibrinolytic, and it has proteolytic enzymes that help to break apart glycoproteins. Clarity factor, very important to take every day to help get rid of that brain fog. And what it will do is help support your memory. What's going to happen is that when you have your neurons firing regularly, then you're going to improve your neuroplasticity. So taking clarity factor to improve your brain function is extremely important. Olive leaf extract is a dual purpose product. It's going to help bring down inflammation and help you to have a good lipid profile. Zeolite helps to remove heavy metals and toxins from your body. Taking it every day is going to help you to reach homeostasis for your endocrine system and your immune system. Myotrol, very important. It helps with gene expression to build muscle and to maintain muscle, and it also helps the health of the mitochondria. It has flavonoids, polyphenols, and lignans. Boomer Boost is a supplement that you take every day. It has 68 ingredients. You can take the time to read the label here. It has everything you need that's important for a good health protocol. It's going to target your heart, your vascular system, your brain function, musculature, and rev up your metabolism and increase your energy levels. Gladiator barley and heirloom barley are high density proteins. Gladiator barley focuses on strength, inflammation, detoxification, and soaking up free radicals from superoxide dismutase. Heirloom barley is very similar to gladiator barley, but it doesn't focus on the strength gains. They're both high density protein. It's a powder. You take it every day. Take a half a scoop or a full scoop, mix it with soft foods, filtered water, milk, or a smoothie. Again, heirloom barley will focus on the detoxification, reducing inflammation, and soaking up free radicals with superoxide dismutase. All right. I also have ubiquinol. Ubiquinol is the most bioavailable form of CoQ10 that you can purchase. Ubiquinol is very important to soak up free radicals, help with the health of the mitochondria so you'll have more energy, and to protect your neurons. If you're 40 years of age or older, you should be taking ubiquinol to protect your neurons. NAD plus also protects neurons, and NAD plus helps to boost up your energy levels and repair your DNA damage, cellular DNA and mitochondrial DNA. Stacking NAD plus with ubiquinol has a synergistic effect to being able to support your neural health. Vitamin K2 stacks very well with D3 to help absorb calcium, helps with bone density, and D3 and K2 taken together also helps with cardiovascular health. I also have deodorants that are in citrus or peppermint, lavender, and tea tree. They're for males and females. It is a dual purpose product. It's going to help to detoxify your body, but you also can use it as a deodorant. It has no aluminum or baking soda. It's made from essential oils from the Himalayas. I also have anti-aging boxes at different price points and longevity boxes. They all target different systems, and it's a great way to start your health journey. And I have classes that I've created in pulmonology and immunology that you can purchase for $50. You get lots of PDFs and videos. You get a unique password to log in as many times as you want to learn about pulmonology and immunology. Once you get that password, you just log in under classes and whichever module you purchased. All right, with that said, let's talk about the markets. Okay. So we're going to go over different different markets. Again, we are recording this on 6/8/2025. Tomorrow, the US session opens up. So let's talk about the first ETF here, and this is BITO. BITO is a ETF that is targeting or tracking Bitcoin. All right. Now, let's talk about resistance levels and support levels here. So as of Friday's close, we had 20, it closed at 20.92. Now we have a resistance level at 21.48, and we have a support level at now 20. All right. That's non-structural, but it's non-structural, but there was a little bit of a set of traders at that 20 level based on this little hand that I'm circling here. All right. It's not structural because it's not part of the fib sequence. For the fib sequence, the next support level is 1855. So if Bitcoin goes below 100, we're probably going to be testing the 1855 mark. But the chances are it's not. So most likely we have a non-structural support level at 20 and a structural support level at 1855. And we have a resistance point at 21.48. And the next, if that resistance point is broken, then the next resistance level is 22.55. I don't see Bitcoin. I'm kind of surprised that Bitcoin hasn't moved closer to the 110 mark versus the 100 mark. It's been trading a little bit on the downside lately, and Bitcoin is at about 106 right now. So if it goes above, if it gets like to 108, 109, then you're going to start seeing the breaking through the 21.48 resistance level. But if it starts going back down to 103, 102, most likely it's going to fall past the 20 support level. Okay, that's BITO. All right, SPY, which is the ETF for the S&P 500. As you know, we are getting close to the 6,000 mark. All right. The all-time high on the S&P 500 through SPY, it was 613. So SPY was trading at 613 for the all-time high. We're at the close of Friday, we were at 599. Okay, so what we have, we are getting really close. We're just under that 600 resistance level. We have a support level at 575, and I would not be surprised that this coming week that we are going to be trading above 6,000. All right. Intraday, we were trading on Friday above 6,000. So we have a resistance level that most likely will be broken this week, maybe even Monday, and go past the 600, 6,000 in the S&P 500 or 600 based on the S&P the SPY. So if we get past the 600 here on Monday, then the next resistance point is going to be the all-time high and it will be 613. That's 613. Most likely, if we broke the 600, it will test the 613 and probably bounce off and then test it again and break through. That's what I suspect. All right. So in the immediate term, there's a resistance level that most likely will be broken next week, this coming week here, on maybe Monday or Tuesday, and the next resistance level will be 613 for SPY. The current support level is 575. All right, 575. And if we break the 600, all right, then you're talking about the 600 becoming the support level, but maybe not that's structural because of the news coming out of Washington, because I suspect that we're going to be testing the 613 and then bounce back down. The 600 will be tested and see if it stays a support level, but it might break and then come back up. So it's questionable how stable the 600 support level would be once it breaks. So right now, 600 resistance most likely will break. Then the next resistance is 613. That will be tested and most likely come down. There'll be a bounce down, and the 600 will be a support level, but we don't know how strong that is. Then the next support level, if it breaks, would be the 575. So that's what's going on in the S&P 500. That's all predicated on tariff trades, tax bill in Washington, and any potential international news with Ukraine or maybe even the Middle East. Okay. Oil. Oil's trading at 64.77. Now, like I said, there's a $65 a barrel resistance level, and we're almost there, right? We're only less than 25 cents away from it. That resistance level, if broken, the next resistance is going to be at 68.50. So we have a resistance at 65. During the trade session on Friday, it wasn't able to get there. So we may see on Monday maybe bounce down. I mean, that's a pretty decent sized candle. We'll see. Maybe it'll go through, maybe not. But 65 is a resistance level. If it breaks, then the 68.50 is a resistance level. Now, in terms of support, a very strong support level at 54. Now, we're pretty far away from 64 to 54, right? So the chances of it going down is pretty low. So the next really support level is trying to understand where the new trading range is. See, like I was saying, there was a trading range that was taking place at around the 63 handle to about the 61 handle. So I was looking at this trading range here. All right. And it looks like it broke, it's at the 64 handle. I think the trading range is starting to move upward. So this new trading range, I think instead of it being a 61 handle to a 63 handle, I think it's now closer to a 62 handle with it being at a 64 or 65 handle, depending on if it breaks a 65. So that would mean that 62.50 might be a decent support level. You can kind of see it was supported here, right? So 62 is probably 62.50 is probably a good support level. But we have to see if this fails, if 65 fails. If 65 fails, then I would say a little bit below 62.50, maybe a low 62 handle, like a 62.25 to about a 64.50 would be a good trading range. So I just right now the sense that I get is that we're near the top of a trading range that's starting to establish and then it's going to come back down. So again, several trading sessions ago, there was this trading range that was around the 61 handle to about the 63 handle. But that is being adjusted and it looks like it's moving up. That trading range is moving up. So we may see a high 64 or a low 65 handle for the upper bound and the lower bound being closer to 62.50. So we'll see what happens there. Now, Boyle is natural gas. That is a ETF that's tied to natural gas longing. It's leveraged. All right. So natural gas is trading between recently is trading around 3.7, but it's fluctuating between 3.7 to as low as 3.5. So lower bound, I'm seeing a lower bound at about 3.55 for natural gas and an upper bound at 3.7 right now. So we're at about 3.7 right now. So if you're looking at the ETF, Boyle, it closed at 57.86 and we have a support level at 55.28 structural. It's a fib sequence. Okay. The next resistance level is 60. All right. So the question is will Boyle hit 60 and then bounce back down? So I think that there's a trading range going on between probably a 58 or maybe even a 59 handle, all the way down to a 55.28 handle. This moves a lot. So if natural gas is trading at 3.7 and starts to go to 3.8, then we are probably going to see a break through 60. If that happens, then the next resistance level is going to be 63.88. Now, we're not at the point where natural gas should be going up in the futures market. That should start taking place in late July, early August. So it's a little bit early for this to happen. So I suspect that this is going to come back down before it'll start to come back up. All right. So I still am predicting that this trading range is going to be upper bound at the 3.7 range and then come back down maybe to 3.5 or 3.6, and then in July start to march up above 3.7, go to 3.8, 3.9. So with that all said, it closed on Friday at 57.86. The support level is 55.28 structural. There is a psychological resistance level at 60. And if that breaks, then the next structural resistance level would be 63.88. Okay, and that's Boyle. Now, TYD is an ETF that's tied to the 7 to 10-year Treasury. It's a leveraged ETF, and a lot of people aren't focused on the 30-year bond, the 30-year yield. They're more focused on the 10-year yield. So the yields right now for the 30 years 4.96 and the 10-year yield is 4.5. All right, so looking at the belly of the curve, that's what most people are looking at, unless you're like long-term institutional investors, and that's like for insurance companies to control their outlays. All right, so with that, this is tied to price. So if the price goes up, the yield goes down. So if you think that the yield is going to go up, then this should go down. If you think that the price is going to go up, then this should go up also. But if this goes up, this should normally be negatively correlated to the equity market. So prices in bonds go up and typically equities go down. All right, so just keep that in mind. So in terms of resistance levels, all right, or in terms of support levels, I should say. All right, so in terms of support levels, we were trading at 23.97. All right. We're right on that support level of 23.96. All right. So we're testing that support level. If that breaks, the next support level is going to be approximately around 23.75. Okay. And that can be somewhat confirmed by the bottoming of these two candles and also the movement that's going on here early in the year. And even this long whisker, this wick. All right. So that would be a little bit more at the 23.50 mark. That would assume that you have yields really going up. Now, it's possible that yields go up, because the way yields go up for a few things, either because inflation, the Fed raises rates, or the stock market is going up. Because remember what I said, when the stock market is going up, bond prices go down. When bond prices go down, yields go up. Okay. So so we got to, kind of keep this in mind here that if the prices start to go down, yields are going to go up. And so if that's going to take place, then this ETF is going to start to go down. So we're right on that support level. Now, if bonds go up, if this ETF goes up, most likely the equity market is going to be going down. I don't think that's going to happen. So there's a higher probability of this ETF to go down. So we're probably going to break the support level at 23.96 and be testing the 23.75. More psychological barrier, not structural. The next really structural barrier is 22.25, and that's a pretty big drop. So you have a psychological barrier here at about 23.75 and another one at around 23.50 and then another one at 23. All right. Now, if bonds start to go up, then you're talking about a resistance level, assuming that 23.96 is supported. The next resistance level will be 25.02. So there's this most likely what will happen is this ETF is going to go down, not up, because equities are going to be going up. I think equities are going to break the 600 mark on the SPY or the 6,000 mark for the S&P 500. And so we probably will break this support level at the 23.96 and test the 23.75, maybe even the 23.50. So that is TYD. Now, let's take a look at a chart that is a composite of three: the 30-year yield, the 10-year yield, and the Federal Reserve effective rate. All right. Now, I also have a chart here at the bottom, a line graph that's showing the spread between the 30 and the 10. So it's taking the yield and subtracting the two. Now, anything above 50 is anything above 0.5 or what is called 50 basis points is a wide spread. And normally that spread comes in. All right. You can notice here over a long period of time, the spreads were more narrow, right? And they were at around zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.2, right? And then it started spreading out. The spread started widening. And that spread widening started around February. Okay. So even though in February, through February, near the end of February and into March, yields were coming down, the spreads were actually widening. So just because they're widening doesn't mean that it could widen because it's coming down or up. All right. But the key here is that once you get above like 0.5, 50 basis points, you start getting into the 50 basis point spread or the 75 basis point spread, then normally it starts to come back in. All right. So I just want to show that if the Federal Reserve starts to cut rates, these yields will start to go down. All right. And most likely the spreads will also go down too. Because if you notice, as these were starting, as the Federal Reserve was lowering rates, you could see that the spread was starting to come in. And then as it was holding, the spread started to rise. So if the Federal Reserve reduces rates, the spread will come in and the yields will come in. If the Federal Reserve raises rates because of inflation, which I don't think is going to be happening, then the yields will go up, but it's not necessarily true that the spread will widen. Because if they raise their rates, the 10-year may move faster than the 30-year. And if that's the case, then the spread will decrease and the 10-year rate will move faster than the 30. All right. So just keep that in mind. So this is, I think, an interesting chart on the seeing spreads between the 10 and the 30, or I should say between the 30 and the 10, and how it overlays with the Federal Reserve lowering rates. So I think that's a nice chart to just keep on watching weekly to see how that spread is. It went as much as like 52, 51, and then it started to come back down. Now it's at 48. So it's coming in a little bit, the spread. All right, so that is the market update. Just to remind the audience, I do have a live show on most days of the week that is covering the market. It live streams on Rumble and YouTube and on my website, the-studio-reykjavik.com. So please help support the work by making sure you subscribe to all the channels. All the links are in the description of this video and all my videos. If you can, please donate. If you're an international audience that can't purchase the products from my store and you'd like to help support, you can donate on my website, use Stripe, PayPal, or buy me a coffee, or you can be a paid member to my Patreon channel. Again, all these videos are for free. I don't put anything behind a paywall. Thank you for supporting the work I do, and please watch the live streams Monday through Friday. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.